Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I know this is one of those sessions everybody has been asking for quite a while, and that is how do you actually ace your exam? How do you actually approach these different types of questions? Where do they try and trick you? And how you do be smarter than the lecturer to really get the most marks for your answer sheet? So tonight it will be a bit different from our normal exam session where we focus on the tools and how to access your exams. This is all about how you're now actually going to be approaching the different types of questions, how you can analyze them, how you should be answering them. And for that, luckily, we've got a wonderful team here tonight that will not only assist you in the chats, but also will be presenting and give you guidance on all these various topics. So to introduce the two main members, I'm going to ask them now to introduce themselves. So we've got Dr. Govender and Dr. Mpalele. So they are actually curriculum experts. They are lecturers. So they know exactly how to guide you with these types of questions. So for this, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Govender and Dr. Mpalele just to introduce themselves and also give us a feeling of what we are going to experience tonight. Thanks, Doctor.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, and thank you so much for attending this webinar. I welcome you warmly to this webinar where we are going to focus on assessment skills for your online exams. I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Mpashlele, and we are going to co-facilitate this webinar. I'm also here with my team of EdHof members, and we are here to assist you to answer your queries and also answer whatever concerns you have regarding the different types of assessment or different types of questions that you may encounter in your exams. Colleagues, there are a range of types of questions which we are going to cover, namely MCQs, case-based assessments, essays, short questions, and so on. We want this to be an interactive kind of presentation. By this I mean we would like you to post your concerns, your questions, or even your experiences in the chat tool. So before I continue with the presentation, I would like Dr. Mpashlele to introduce herself to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Govender. This is Ramashego Shila Mpashlele, your lecturer. I'm happy to see you, and I hope you are happy too, because this session is where we are going to give you tips on how to approach different types of questions in your exam. I'm sure when you are preparing for your exams, you're mostly looking for answers to the questions, you're studying the content, but what is missing is how are you going to go about answering in such a way that when you know you have answered correctly, you are 100% sure that you are going to come back with a pass. We see most students after their results are out, they are very surprised. Why did I fail? Because I knew the answers. You knew the answers, however, you did not respond the way you expected to respond. Sit back, relax. We're going to empower you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mpashlele. Colleagues, as Dr. Mpashlele mentioned, we are going to talk about different strategies to approach different types of questions. So there are two formats of your exams. One is the online assessment, where you would work directly on MyUnisa. And in this case, it would be like your MCQs, your randomized MCQs. Then the other format of your exams is the file upload or take-home exams. And this is where you will download your question paper, you will complete it offline, and you will upload once completed. So the format chosen for your module will be communicated via your lecturer. And depending on the exam format, there will be different types of questions. Okay. So we are going to take you through the process of MCQs, short answer questions, case-based scenarios, essays, and open book exams. So whilst we talk about the strategies on how to approach these types of questions, we are also going to say to you that preparation is very important. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And this is a quote by Benjamin Franklin, colleagues. So how do you prepare for your exams? The first thing is you need to be familiar about your exam format. So when we talk about exam format, we are talking about whether it's going to be online assessment, meaning that you're going to work directly online, or whether it's going to be file upload. And then you need to apply effective studying skills, develop a study plan, and then practice questions. So familiarity about your exams. Right, make sure that you know exactly what format each module is taking, whether it's going to be MCQs or file upload, or an essay or short questions. And this will be communicated to you via your lecturer. Also know the time and how many questions are going to be there. What is the duration of your paper? What is the weighting of your assessments? And what topics are going to be emphasized in your outcomes? Now, here you may be thinking that you did not receive a scope for your exams. Yes, there is no scope given for your exams, but we want you to look at the outcomes for your module. And every learning unit has unit outcomes. The outcomes are there to help you to decide what is going to be assessed in your exams or in your assessments. So many students quite often overlook or underscore the importance of the outcomes. The outcomes are very, very important, colleagues. So please, when you are studying, make sure that you are familiar with the outcomes for your units and the outcomes for your module. Right. The next tip is apply effective study skills. Complete reading and learning the activities in your study material, colleagues. You'll find that your study material has got learning activities which are not graded. These are very important for you to complete because quite often these activities are aimed at guiding your learning process. Right. So as you are studying, try to recall what you have learned, try to summarize them in your own words, try to reflect. By this, I mean, try to make a connection between what you learned and the practical experience or what is really happening in the workplace. Plan, make sure that you cover all your learning units. Do not leave any learning units, right? And also try writing your own practice questions from the outcomes, right? So if you look at your assignments and look at the learning outcomes, it would give you a good indication of what to expect in your exams. Then develop a study plan. Prepare a list of all the topics that you need to focus on. And the more difficult concepts, try to allocate more time so that you cover those concepts adequately, right? Distribute the topics available to you so that you do not leave any learning units untouched. The final point is practice. Make up exam questions, or if you're working with a group of students, exchange different types of questions. Look at your assignments, go back, right? Look at the feedback that was given to you, and all these are part of preparing for your exams. Next, colleagues, this is a very, very important practice exercise that I am going to share with you, all right? So in a table, draw 3 columns like this here. Your module name, the exam type, and the date. So this will tell you exactly, this table will help you to plan for your studying purposes. So you need to know exactly what format, your exam date, and plan so that you spend enough time with all your modules, right? Because many of you have enrolled not just for one module, you have enrolled for many modules. So please do justice to all your modules as you study. Then practice exercise 2 is where it's important for you to go back and read your module outcomes, right? And your module outcomes will give you an indication of the level of difficulty that you can expect in your exam questions, right? And this will be indicated in the way the outcomes are stated. For example, first year level modules and second year level modules, the cognitive level of thinking is much more lower than the third and fourth year level. You'll be asked to discuss or explain. But as you go on to third year, fourth year level modules, you'll be asked to analyze, evaluate, report, and so forth. So please make sure that you look at these here and you are familiar with the level of difficulty as stated in your outcomes. Next, colleagues, before I go on to the different types of questions, continuous assessment. Some of you may be wondering, why is there no exams for some of your modules? The reason is the assessment approach for that particular module is what we call continuous assessment. So continuous assessment means that there are a number of graded assessments throughout your semester or your year module. And the approach is called continuous assessment because it's an alternative to a single summative exam that carries a high or bigger weighting. With continuous assessment, for a semester module, you may have had between 4 to 6 smaller assessment tasks. Each of those tasks was graded, and all those marks contribute to the final year mark. Right, so on your timetable, it will be reflected as module arrangement, which means that there is no examination. Okay. Now, if you look at any questions that you have, whether it is a MCQ or short questions or essay type of questions, whatever the case is, there are 2 types of words. One is called the task words, and the other is called the content words. Now, with the task words will tell you what to do. For example, whether you are asked to compare or to discuss or critically discuss or evaluate or explain. So every question will have task word and content words, colleagues. Then the content words tell you which ideas and concepts should form the knowledge base of your question. So it means that you've got to read your questions carefully and respond accordingly. Where you are asked to list, it means that you just list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, and not go into deep description or explanation. Okay. Now, understanding the command or task words. For example, name or list means only state the facts and do not expand. Where you're asked to describe, to state, or to summarize, or to sketch, here you simply record how you see a particular phenomenon, and you give a brief but condensed statement. To discuss, this is a comprehensive term that includes where you compare, you motivate, and you explain, and you also use examples. If you're asked to compare, you look at differences, you look at similarities, you weigh the different elements against each other. Right, that's what compare means. It's a much higher level of cognition. Motivate means that you need to provide reasons for a particular decision or point of view. And you must also cite examples. If you're asked to define, here you write the meaning of a particular word or phrase, and you use your own words when you are writing. And also, if you're asked to define, to illustrate your understanding of a concept, it would be very good to give an example to demonstrate your understanding. Okay. So colleagues, here, I want to show you an example, right? You might find that some questions might be a bit complex. For example, in this case, critically compare two teaching approaches a teacher may use in mathematics teaching. Right. So in order to answer a question like this here, you need to analyze this question. So the task word is critically compare. The content words is what is the focus of your module, the content, teaching approaches in this case. Okay, so the command words or task word is critically compare. The question is asking the student to critically compare two different teaching approaches in particular. So your course might have a number of teaching approaches, but here you are asked to compare only two. And then support your answer with examples where appropriate. Right, so this is what is expected in your answer. You need to critically compare two teaching approaches, such as a teacher-directed or child-centered approach. Your answer must include both approaches together. And here, when you're comparing, you would look at strengths and weaknesses. Right, and then you compare them. And then you'll say, based on the strengths and weaknesses, why one approach supersedes the other approach. Okay, so a comprehensive answer will include all these components. Now, let us look at what is a short answer question, right? So a short answer question, unlike essays, short answer questions require a concise written answer to a question using complete sentences, not bullets, but complete sentences. It's aimed at testing your ability to integrate what you have learned in the module and to apply the knowledge, right? So you might have questions of low cognitive level and high cognitive level. By this, I mean, when it's low cognitive level, you are merely stating or you're explaining as according to what was explained in your study material. But if it's a high cognitive level, then you are analyzing, you're synthesizing, you're comparing, and so forth. Right. So how to approach your short questions. If you have short question types, colleagues, you'll find that in some of your exam papers, right, there will be a combination of types of questions, meaning that you might have one question that is made up of maybe 5 or 4 short questions. And you might have questions that are essay type of questions. So if you have short question types, it means that you have to give a direct answer to the question in your first sentence, right? You read your question. In your first sentence, give a direct answer to the question using some of the words from the question itself, which explains the point you are making in the paragraph. So a short question means that you are writing a short paragraph, in other words, right? Or a few sentences. But you need to show the marker or the examiner that you understand the question and you're able to answer. Keep your answers to one paragraph and include keywords or phrases from your question. How long your answer is will depend on the mark allocation. So when you're reading a question, look at the mark allocation. If your marks are out of 5 marks, it means that there should be about 5 points to your question. Right. Organize your ideas logically, briefly, and concisely. Do not write in sophisticated terms. Use simple language and write in an understandable manner. Focus on the points, the keywords, the ideas or phrases the examiner will be looking for when the question was designed. Colleagues, remember that at UNISA, we've got thousands and thousands of students. Sometimes it's sad to say, by the time your script gets to the examiner may be tired. This is the reality. So the solution is please, or the suggestion is please make sure that you use keywords that's covered in your study material when you are responding, okay? answer the specific questions given. Do not just write about what you know about the topic in general. Make sure that you answer the question. Okay. Now, this here is a very, very useful strategy for preparing for not only short questions, but for MCQs or even your essays, right? And the reason why I suggest that you do this is in every question paper, you will be assessed on key concepts and terminology. And you will be assessed on your understanding of these key concepts, terminologies, theories, principles, and so forth. You will also be expected to apply these concepts. Therefore, I suggest that you can, as you are studying in your module, you can draw 4 columns. You can identify the key concepts for each unit. Then write down the meaning of these concepts in your own words. Then try to show how these concepts are linked to the real life experiences or situation. And where possible, think of an example to illustrate your understanding of this particular concept. If you follow this approach, colleagues, you will not have problems if you are asked to define or to explain or to discuss a concept, theory, principle, or legislation. Okay. Now here's an example of how you would answer a short question. What is meant by the term load shedding, for example? Right. And then describe the difference between load shedding and power outage. You'll find that some questions, there might be a main question and there might be further prompt to a question. Okay, so here your strategy is read the question carefully, divide the question if needed. So in this case now, there is 2 parts to the question. What is meant by the term load shedding, and describe the difference between load shedding and power outage. So you will underline the keywords, or you will take note of these keywords as you're answering, right? Load shedding, power outage, difference, and so forth. Next, underline the task words, or take note of the task words. What is meant by? Describe the difference between these are task words. Then you'll answer the question, and a good short answer in an exam specifically answer the question in the first sentence. Use the keywords from your answer, and the rest of the paragraph is used to explain your answer. Now, colleagues, let us move to case study question. Right. The reason why we integrate or include case-based study or scenarios in your question is to bring about authentic assessment. We're trying to make a link to what is covered in your theory, in your study material, to what is actually happening in the workplace out there. So we do this through case studies or through scenarios. So a case study is a scenario in a particular professional context, which students are expected to analyze, guided by specific questions concerning the situation. For example, if you are pursuing a teacher qualification, a qualification in teaching, then there'll be case studies that draw experiences from the classroom situation. Okay. It involves a number of issues or problems that must be dealt with in a professional workplace. So when you're reading a case study now, there will be a number of issues or problems that you need to identify as you read the case study. And it requires students to identify problems and issues in a scenario. Right. So students are required to demonstrate their knowledge of theories and professional policies. So when you are reading a case study, as you are reading it, immediately you need to try to make a connection between what is covered in your case study to what is covered in your study material. Okay. let us look at some of the approaches. How do you approach a case study? Quite often, students seem to find case studies difficult to interpret and difficult to answer. But if you follow these strategies, it will really help you, right? So as you read the case study, identify the issue or the problem. Then every problem needs a solution. There might be many solutions to a problem. So take note of all the solutions. And then you will weigh one solution against the other solution. And then you'll come up with your final recommendations. So basically, a case study is about identifying problems, looking at solutions, and coming up with recommendations. So to unpack the approach, how to approach case study, here, first you'll find that background and context. So in a case study, it's like a story. You'll find that there's a lot of background information. And then you'll ask yourself, what background facts influence the current problems referred to in the question? What are the constraints or obstacles to the situation? So you'll find that once you identify the problem, then you would go back and you'll reread your case study and you'll see what are the background information or what is the context that is influencing the problem. Next, reread the case study again, summarize or list the issues and the problems in your own words. Then you'll find that there's many problems listed in your case study. Next, you need to sort out the major problems from the minor problems. Then you need to look at the evidence that relate to the problem in your case study. Identify underlying cause of the problem. And then a useful strategy is to represent the problem and the relationship as a mind map. Right, because you'll see the bigger problem, how the bigger problem impacts on the smaller problem and how the smaller problem impacts and creates a bigger problem. Okay, the relationship. Then you would link the problem in your case study to the theory in your study material. And you'll match the appropriate theory. When I talk about theory, I'm not talking about, theories necessarily like constructivism or Piaget. By theory, I'm referring to the study material content. Right, then you'll explain how the content in your study material speaks to this case study. Identify potential solutions to the problem. If there's more than one solution, evaluate the advantages and disadvantages, and then structure your writing logically, use headings, and then finally, you will provide recommendations. Okay. Now, colleagues, let us look at multiple choice questions. This is a different type of question where you will answer it directly online. Right. So a multiple choice question includes a statement or a question followed by 4 or 5 options. And you must select the best answer, but sometimes the answers are so closely related and it's quite a challenge, or it can be tricky to select the best answer. Okay, so with your MCQs, remember that you don't have to download your exam paper here because you complete it directly online. So it's different from your file upload or your short answer questions or your essay type of questions, because you have to answer it directly online here. Let us look at some of the strategies to approach MCQs. Firstly, budget your time, colleagues. Read the question carefully to determine the precise requirement. What is the question asking you? Is the question asking you to select one option, or are you asked to select two correct options? Because in some cases, you might be asked to select 2 options. So in that case, the mark allocation will be distributed accordingly. Okay, so please read your question carefully. Then, after you read the question, answer the question in your mind before you look at the options. Right, so read a multiple choice question in its entirety before glancing over the answer options. Underline or circle keywords again, and then try to answer the question without looking at the options. After that, after you answer the question in the option, now you look at your options and you see, try to read every answer option. Don't skip any option, because most MCQ want you to find the most correct answers, and there may be multiple correct answers. Even if answer A appears to be the correct choice, do not skip the remaining choices, because answer B could be a better choice. Okay. If you are struggling to get the correct option, a very good strategy is what we call elimination. By elimination, what we mean here is that instead of looking for the correct option, the correct answer in your option, you look at the incorrect options and you delete that in your mind, or you delete that out. So if you identify maybe 2 totally incorrect statements and you're left with 2 options and you're uncertain about which of the 2 is the correct answer, then finally you would make an educated guess. You read the 2 options again, you make an educated guess, and a good strategy is to ask yourself, is this statement true or is it false? If it is false, then naturally the other option is the correct option. Okay, so colleague, these are some tips and strategies on how to approach. We went through short questions, we went through case-based questions and MCQs. Okay, I want to say good luck with your assessments, and now I want to hand you over to Dr. Mphahlele, who is going to talk us through essays and open book exams. Over to you, Dr. Mphahlele.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kavenda. Can I be allowed to share?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Let me first make sure that my screen is where I want it to be. I just want to share something with you quickly, which is what is in relation to what Dr. Kavenda just said now regarding multiple choice. She spoke about questions where you are selecting one answer and where you are selecting multiple answers. I just want you to know, how are you going to differentiate if here I need to select more than one answer, or if here I have to select only one answer. I hope you are able to see my screen. I have 2 types of questions that I want to show you. If you can see on these questions and options, the other one has check boxes, while the other one has some circles. So when you see a question and the options have circles, you need to know that this is where you are going to choose only one answer. And where you see check boxes, just know that it is more than one answer. The trick is the lecturer will not tell you how many correct answers should be selected. So now it is important for you to make sure that you read the content, you understand the content, you do not use guesswork. Another thing is that you also need to use that strategy, which Dr. Kavenda just indicated, of elimination, especially with this one where you are supposed to select more than one answer. When you eliminate the wrong answers, then you will go right. Then now I can go to the tips on how to approach our essay type questions. Sorry because I'm trying to share a different screen now. I am closing this one so that I can share the one that is correct. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to share from the beginning. Sorry about that. Okay, most of our essay type questions, you are going to be doing them in the file upload. So the MCQs, which Dr. Govender finished with, are going to be done in a quiz. And a quiz is that type of an assessment where you do not require Invigilator app. You just require a device that has a camera wherein you are going to have a Moodle proctoring. So with this one, this is where you're going to be proctored mostly with Invigilator app, or maybe IRIS if you are in those colleges where they are using IRIS. So the essay type questions, their difference from the other questions Dr. Govender has shared with you is that here you need to argue. And as you argue, you need to support your argument. And when supporting your argument, you need evidence. And then where do this evidence come from? It comes from the knowledge that you gained when you were reading the modules, when you were reading your textbooks, when you were reading other material that were recommended to you. Some of the lecturers during the course of the year, they were organizing support workshops where they were sharing their videos, their support workshop videos. And this is where, again, you get that knowledge from. If you are hearing this for the first time, please log on to your module and check if the lecturer hasn't uploaded any webinar support workshop videos, and as well as your assignments. You have been doing assignments, you have been receiving feedback. Yes, we know some of the assignments right now, you haven't received feedback now because maybe they are still marking. However, as soon as you get that feedback, it will also assist you when you are going to be answering this type of question. So the most important thing is that you need to write down the relevant points that you can remember at that time. Suppose you see a question that requires you to discuss the relevance of Invigilator app in an online exam. I'm just giving an example. Suppose your subject is, or your module is related to that. Then they say to you, discuss the relevance of Invigilator app in online exam. What do you do first? You need to, because the question, it says relevance, then you are going to look at the things that makes it relevant. What do? You jot them down. What makes it relevant? It makes it relevant because the assessment that you are writing is online. Then you put it down. It makes it relevant because the students are scattered all over the world. We are not in one venue. Then you put those down. Then at the end, you are now going to join those points, and then they will form paragraphs. So unlike if you just start writing and thinking that after you have written the whole page and then you are going to get the marks. Remember, mostly the marks in the essay type questions are allocated according to the points that you make. Suppose the question that says discuss, it is allocated 10 marks. Make sure that at least you jot down 5 relevant points, because now those points, when you are going to elaborate on them, you might find yourself getting 2 points each, because to say you have indicated a point that is relevant, it can be 1 mark for you. And now to show that you have elaborated, you have supported that point, then you get another mark. But if you just write and write and write a lot of information without having points, you'll find that you have written a lot of information, maybe even 2 pages, but you're getting only 1 mark, or you even getting a half mark, because the only point the lecturer or the marker can find from your discussion is only 1 point or half a point. So once you have your points, analyze them. And also what is going to be assisting you? You'll be assisted by the keywords of the question itself. So if they say discuss the advantages, then you know you need to focus on advantages. Do not include disadvantages, because they are saying to you advantages. So you'll find some of you, the question says discuss advantages. Then you write only about 2 advantages. The rest you talk about disadvantages. And that is where now you disadvantage yourself. So the keywords of the questions are very much important. And then once you have identified those keywords, and then you see that they are linking to your points, then you start to develop an argument. Giving you an example with a question that I just post now, to say if you are requested to discuss the relevance of Invigilator app in an online exam. So now when you develop an argument, you will now start by arguing that since students will be writing individually wherever at their own homes, or at whatever places they will be writing, it's only fair that they are invigilated online. That is your argument. You are arguing that. And then you can now support that argument with other reasons why do you think it is relevant. So I spoke about the issue of points to say in most cases, lecturers allocate 1 point, 1 point to 1 mark. And again, when you give an example, that is where you're going to get your additional marks. Another key thing with essay types questions is this one. Don't just write lots of text without demarcating your work with paragraphs. So if, for example, you want to write about 5 points in your discussion, and maybe that is 25 marks, make sure that the first paragraph, you are discussing that first point, you are giving your examples, and you are sure about 5 marks in that paragraph. Then you're going to go to the next paragraph. So if you have those 5 paragraphs, you are sure of your 25 marks. But if it is just too much text that is full on the pages, Dr. Kavenda indicated that your script might find the marker or the lecturer at that time when they are tired. So it will be difficult for them to go through the text that is not demarcated. So you are going to be disadvantaging yourself of the marks. All right. So I'm now moving to the open book exam. With the open book exam, we hear majority of you asking if take-home exam is open book exam. Not all take-home exams are open book. When your module has open book, you will get that information from your lecturer. And also, when you get the exam instructions for that module, it will be specified that this is open book. And what you need to do with open book. Another thing that you need to be careful of is that some lecturers specify which material are you supposed to use in that open book exam. So they will specify textbooks that you need to bring to your table, and they will also specify articles if they want you to use articles. You need to check that. But if the lecturer did not specify, it means you can just bring all the material that is relevant to that module. So the challenge is this one. Some of you you used to ask if now in the open book you can open the websites. My dear students, the word book, open book itself, it is self-explanatory. You are opening books. You are not opening websites. So now when you want to be opening websites during the open book, it might be difficult because you will be deviating from the screen that maybe you are showing your assessment or your question paper. Remember, if you are using a laptop to see your question paper, or if you are just typing, at times
Dr.
if you are using...
Dr.
Hello?
Mphahlele, sorry to interrupt. Your slides are not moving.
No, I'm not moving them. Yes,
Okay.
I'm just talking about open book. There's no slide about it.
Okay.
All right. Maybe I should even stop the sharing, because that one I'm not sharing any from the slides.
Okay, not a problem.
I'm just giving them some tips. So remember, with our invigilation or our proctoring tools, you are not supposed to deviate and go to other websites, because that will be seen as cheating. So to be safe, you rather print the material that you want to use during your exam. If you know some of your material is online, you rather print them prior the exam and put them on your table. So another thing with open book, you need to familiarize yourself with the types of questions you might be expecting. Today, we shared with you the types of questions and how you approach them. So you should know that in your module, are they going to be using scenarios? Are they going to be using the essay types, the short type questions? But in most cases, open book exam, they focus on scenarios because they want you to interpret, to apply your knowledge when they use the scenarios. The key thing, again, that I want you to know is that you need to organize your material. How do you organize your material? We can organize it differently. The books that you'll be having, you can mark them with markers, with different colors, so that when you want to go straight to a certain information, you don't have to page through quickly and going back and forth, because you don't have too much time. So you should bookmark. That's where the bookmarking come in. Bookmark the sections, maybe with different colors, so that you just go straight to the information that you want. And then you can even create a sheet that you put your notes, wherein you even specify the pages to say, if I see a question that talks about definitions of this, I'm going to find that on this page. If I see a question that talks about principles of online learning, they are on this page. So prepare those notes for yourself so that it's easy for you. Because some people, they think when it is open book, they don't even read. They just take the books, they go into the exam room or the table where you are going to be writing exam, and then you will now find yourself going back and forth in the textbook trying to find the information. So before you start with the open book, skim the entire exam and check where you have noted your page numbers to now see that, okay, this question, I'm going to locate it in this page in my textbook. This question, I'm going to locate it in this page. Then you are going to be at ease. And then you look at the time as well. This one is 50 marks. How much time can I allocate? Should I start with it, or should I start with the ones with smaller marks? And again, you need to be able to review your work at the end and proofread and make sure you don't take word for word from the textbook. As much as it is called open book, it doesn't mean you will take word for word from the textbook. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mbashlela. Colleagues, students, we now open for question and answers. Please post your comments in the chat tool, or you can raise your hand. You can ask questions. You can share your experiences from your past exams. Sama, over to you. Sama, I see your hand raised.
Sama, you must just unmute from your side.
Students, if you want to speak, please unmute. Okay. We see another hand up. Imbali. Imbali, over to you. Imbali, please unmute. Mochidisi.
Mochidisi, just unmute from your side. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to ask about the online modules, the one that's having continuous assessment. We don't have exams in those modules. How important are the forums? Because I saw each and every module has forums. How important is forums and how are they contributing to the final mark? Thank you.
Okay, that's a very, very good question that you raised. All right. So colleagues, with continuous assessment, you'll find that there are a number of assignments that are going to be graded. In some modules, right, participation in the forums may be graded, and that will contribute to your continuous assessment. In other modules, the lecturer expects you all to participate in the forums, but your participation is not graded. So there you need to check whether your participation in the forum is going to be graded or not graded. By graded, I mean, you know, there's going to be a mark there. It's going to be marked, and that mark is going to contribute to your year mark. But in other cases, you are expected to participate in the forum, and the forums are used for formative assessment, which means that it is used for the purpose of learning. You post your response and you read the responses of your other colleagues. It's actually there to foster collaborative learning. Okay, so there you just need to make sure now, you know, whether your continuous assessment includes graded forums and what other types of assessment is going to be included in your continuous assessment. Look at your assessment plan, Mochidisi. That would give you a good idea of which of your assessments are going to be graded and which will contribute to your final mark.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Charmaine, colleagues, please remember to unmute. Go to your mic.
Dr. Gavenda, can
Yes.
I come in regarding
Yes.
the forums before you with the forums students, there's something I want to show you quickly. If maybe I may just share my screen.
Yes,
it
sure.
will assist you, especially those of you who are doing continuous assessment. I know that you miss some marks because of that. I'm going to share my screen again now. Sorry for the delay.
No, it's not a problem.
Okay. When you get to a forum like that one, if it's a forum that is graded, like Dr. Gavenda has mentioned, if the forum is graded, down there you will see view grades. So this tab does not only work after they have marked your forum. it helps you before you even submit your response for that forum. You need to click on view grades. When you click on view grades, what will come up? It is the rubric that is going to be used to mark the forum. And then it will also show you the amount of marks or points allocated per each. So I see majority of students, when they answer the forums, they are quick to just click on add a conversation and then they just answer without checking the rubric, and they get surprised when they fail the forum. You can fail the forum because you would have not seen how much marks are allocated and how the questions were expected to be answered. So it is important that you read the rubric. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mphahlele. Okay, the next, Shemaine, over to you.
Hello, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Professor, I wanted to find out regarding the Invigilator app. I did go into UNISA and they did explain it to me. My only concern is I was told that while you're writing your online exam, the Invigilator app prompts you, like, send a photo of what you've done so far, send a photo of yourself, things like that. That's what I was told. But that we only have 10 minutes to respond to those prompts. Now, my concern that I'm just asking out on is it does take away time, especially when you're busy writing and you, how do I say, you're thinking and then suddenly this pops up. Is there, just question, is there any possibility that instead that webcams, because you can use your phone as a webcam, if webcams cannot rather be used possibly instead?
Okay, Dr. Mphahlele, you want to take that question?
Yes, the reason why you can't use a webcam is because the Invigilator app is installed on your cell phone. It's not installed on your laptop. So that is why you cannot use your webcam. I'm sure that answers your question.
Doctor, I can just also add, so just remember, the Invigilator app doesn't record you the whole time. It just runs on your phone. You just put it down next to you. You wait for the prompt and it will ask you to take a photo. If you are doing Moodle proctoring, that's for MCQ type of assessments. There you can use your phone and it will use your phone's camera. But if you're going to be using a laptop or desktop with a webcam, it will just use that device's webcam. So remember, Invigilator app runs only on the phone. It doesn't record video the whole time. It only records audio and will prompt you to take a photo. Whereas the Moodle proctoring, MCQ, that will use your webcam or your camera on your phone, and that will take random pictures along the way. It doesn't record sound again. So just take note of the differences when you decide on your device.
No, sorry. The reason is my lecturer told me we're using the Invigilator app for our exams. I was just wondering, does it prompt like every 30 minutes? Does it, or is it not like so intense that every like 20 minutes you've got to respond to the Invigilator app?
No, it's not that much. It's at random times, and it's spread over, the duration of what you will, long you'll be writing. It will generally ask you for a prompt to take a picture of your environment, a picture of your selfie, and then at the beginning, a picture of your, say, identification. So it's only those prompts that you have to wait for.
Okay, identification meaning a picture of yourself.
Identification will be, the first one will say a selfie for yourself, or it might ask for ID documents. So that can be your ID, driver's license. If you've got a UNISA student card, you can use that. Even if you've got a staff card, where your picture and name is on, you can even use that as well. Okay. Any photo verification.
Thank you.
But please
Thank
go
you,
and do the
Richard.
mock exam so that you can test it out and you know exactly what to expect.
So students, please, if you can focus your questions on the assessment skills, right? We are having a number of webinars that's forthcoming on My Exams platform. So if you attend those webinars, you will find it to be very useful. Okay. Tesema. Tesema, please unmute. Okay, whilst we're waiting for Tesema, Lebojo. Machuena Lebojo. Makeleni? Okay, colleagues, you can just speak after the first speaker. Nomshla.
Yes.
Nomshla Dori?
Yes, Tesema.
Yes.
This is Tesema.
Tesema, yes.
Can I speak? Do you hear me,
yes,
please?
you can go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I strongly appreciate the presentation that I attended today. I'm just from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I'm the last year, the finalist in my PhD program. And I really appreciated all the presentations given so far. I have a question and I have one comment. My question is regarding MCQ questions. And my practice in the higher level and the lower grades, I'm also giving trainings. Some teachers and somewhat instructors, they are usually preparing MCQ questions in different choice items. What I mean is, some of the questions, maybe 1 up to 5, the choice items may be A up to D, and the others from 6 up to 10, the choice items may be A up to E, and others 15 to 20, the choice items may be from A up to F. Doesn't this affect the attitude or the way students are preparing themselves to respond to the questions? As to me, I prefer the question items, the choice items to be fixed. From if for example, if I'm going to set 20 questions, 20 of the questions must have the same number of choice items, A up to D, A up to D, A up to D. Doesn't this affect just me mixing? And in some papers, I also saw choice A is true and choice B is false. Now, can we really prepare choice items for MCQ questions with different number of choice items? This is my question. The other one is my comment. I just followed in the presentation that in one of the technique that students are supposed to follow or use is the elimination processing. Okay. And at the end of that explanation, I also heard the professor or doctor say that eliminating some of the terms that may confuse you or mislead you will maximize your answering potential. Therefore, I heard her saying that this educational guess. Now, I'm not comfortable with this phrase in a way. Students are supposed to answer to the question with the purpose, then with understanding, and why she preferred to use educational guess. Thank you.
Okay. Look, these are just strategies that we suggested. And elimination is a good strategy to work through or to find, the answers for MCQs, multiple choice questions. It's just a suggestion. We're not saying do it, but it's a good suggestion by looking at what is incorrect first, taking out the incorrect, eliminating the incorrect options, because as you eliminate the incorrect options, you are left with fewer options that you think might be the answer, and it gives you a better chance to choose the correct answer. Look, these are just, and what we said is educated guess. So when you're making an educated guess with the two options, what we are saying here is ask yourself, is the first option true or false? And if it is false, then the second option could be the correct answer. So these are just strategies to help students to get to the answer. Okay. And regarding the number of options for each multiple choice, look here, it is the decision of the lecturers, but we have noted your concern, and I think it would be addressed to the lecturers. Look, some of the questions may have more than 4 or 5 options, but it depends on what the question is about, and it's the lecturer's preference there as well. Okay. The next student, anyone can come up?
Dr. Govender, can
Yes.
I first
Mpashele.
address the issue of the Invigilator app? It seems most of our students, they don't take the mock exam to see how Invigilator app works. And some of them also, they don't do the practice. Remember, after installing Invigilator app, there are instructions for you to use the Invigilator app. And if you take that little test on how to use it, it will also assist you. I see them asking about the scanning and submitting to Invigilator app. To the Invigilator app, after you have written, if you were handwriting, you are now required to scan all your papers that you have written on. You scan them on the Invigilator app. Remember, the Invigilator app was prompting you, for example, to scan your ID or your student card. The very same way, it will prompt you to scan your answer sheet. Then you scan it like that. That is how now you're submitting to the Invigilator app. When you are done, you can now scan your script to upload to My Exams. You should not forget that. And if you were typing on the laptop or desktop, you are going to scan the answer sheet on the screen of the laptop. When you are done, you're just going to save as PDF and now upload to My Exams. So you shouldn't be confused by scanning and uploading to Invigilator app. Actually, to the Invigilator app, you are not necessarily uploading, you are scanning your answer sheet. Then when you are done, you can now scan and upload to My Exams, because the script that is going to be marked is the one that is on My Exams. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mpashele. Andila, over to you. Siviwe.
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin asking a question, because I've got a lot of questions and I am
Please get going.
scared and behind in everything, because this online environment is new to me, and I'm struggling a lot, and I don't have anyone in this town, so I'm alone here. And the work also is putting a lot of pressure on me, so I can't communicate with other students also. So I'm struggling. I don't even know the Invigilator app that you're talking about. What is it? What is the name of this Invigilator app? I'm just scared of the exams, and I don't know. Can you please help me out?
Richard?
Hi, we will share the link in the chat now to our session that we will be having on Saturday morning from 9 o'clock. And also I'll share the link to the existing webinar that we had previously. So this will be the links to the course as well. And really join that session, because that's where we take you step by step through all the Invigilator apps, all the things that you need to know, and to make sure that you're set up and ready for your exams. So we have had sessions already. I'll post a link to the recording that's been uploaded already, and then also the program for the upcoming events. So please join those sessions. We go step by step through it to make sure that you've got a good understanding of it. We also followed up with blast sessions. So if you've got any questions still, you come to those blast sessions and we actually can help you out with anything that you're still struggling with. Thanks, Alosh.
Thank you, Richard. Colleagues, the purpose of these webinars is to help you, to become a successful learner and to help you to succeed in your exam. So please try to attend all these webinars, try to attend the blast sessions. You will learn so much by attending these sessions, not only from what the presenters are saying to you, but also, through the questions posed by your fellow colleagues. So please try to attend these workshops. Please try to complete the course, the online course as well. Okay. With regard to multiple choice question, we also want to say to you that your multiple choice questions is going to be randomized. By this, it means that no two students will get the same set of questions. The options will be shuffled, the questions will be shuffled. And the reason why we do this is we want to prevent cheating, we want to prevent copying, and so forth. Okay, so please remember that what you'll be writing, if it's going to be multiple choice, it is what we call randomized MCQs. Okay.
Excuse me, Doc.
Anyone else?
Excuse me,
you can
Doc.
go ahead, colleagues.
Doc,
yes.
I would like to
where?
find out if where is this recording going to be posted? Because I arrived late and we were almost finished. And,
okay.
If you can see the chat now, I just posted the links to the recording and to the course.
CV where? Do you know how to look at the chat? Are you able to navigate to the chat? If you look at
can see the chat.
Yes. Can you see all the messages there, all the postings there, all the links?
Oh, yes, I can see them.
So if you click on that link, it will take you to the My Exam recordings. Right. There's a number of links there, even the course. Can you see the course there? My Exam course. If you click on that course there, it will take you through step by step on how to complete the different activities in that course, and will help you to, navigate.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Charmaine, over to you.
I just wanted to ask something. I'm doing my honors, and I know about the Invigilator app and everything now. They've never mentioned IRIS, so obviously that's not part of it. I wanted to find out the exams. It's online. Do we type under every question, or are we going to be expected to print the papers out, write it, and then scan it in? Because they said we're going to do an open book, and it's going to, we answer the questions, and it's going through Turnitin.
Can I respond to that one? Thank you. If you are going to use Turnitin, if your exam is using Turnitin, you are not allowed to write by hand. You have to type your answers. The reason is Turnitin does not read the pictures, because when you scan, it will now see it as a picture, because the handwritten words, when they go onto PDF, they are not readable. So you are not allowed to write by hand. If they told you you're going to subject it to Turnitin. Okay. Number two, those who their exam is not subjected to Turnitin, those of you who are allowed to handwrite, please make sure after scanning, you open your scanned document on your laptop or on your phone, wherever it is. See if you are able to see what you wrote. If you are unable to see, please rescan, because it doesn't help that you are going to get 0. The reason being the markers or the lecturer cannot see what you wrote on your script. So make sure you do yourself a favor. You check if everything is visible. If it's not, make sure that when you scan, you bring the phone closer to the document that you are scanning, if you are using a phone to scan. And if you are using a scanning machine or a printer to scan, just make sure that when they come out, they are visible. Thank you.
But the other part that I was still asking was the when we type our answers online, because it's going through Turnitin, are we writing under every question, or are we using a completely clean Word document and typing our answers?
It will depend with your lecturers. If your
Okay.
lecturer have uploaded a Word document, then you will be able to use it to type under the questions. But remember, most of the question papers are in PDF. So if the question paper comes in PDF, you see you are not going to be able to type on it. It will mean you open your clean Word document and then you start typing. And sometimes it's unnecessary to rewrite the question. It will take your time.
Yeah,
As you have your question paper, look at the question, number the question. If it's question 1 or it's question 1.1, just number it and start answering, because rewriting the question, it is just wasting your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Colleagues, I just want to add that take-home exams, most of the take-home exams, the questions in your take-home exams, or even in your open book exams, it's application type of questions. And the reason why we have transitioned to that is because we want to we want to prevent students from copying from the study material, regurgitating answers. So it's all application type of questions. And if you do have application type of questions, remember, it's always wise, or it's a good suggestion to use examples, your own examples, to illustrate your point or to illustrate your understanding. Anyone else? Clementine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to ask in regards of the open book exam. For example, I am doing distance learning online. So the prescribed material that I have is in PDF when I haven't printed it out. So let's say they give me an open book exam. Yes, I have a book whereby I made notes. Will I be allowed to open that PDF of the prescribed material as a book, although it's on PDF and on my laptop?
Dr. Mpashlele?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. I was responding on the chat. Can I get the question again? Sorry.
I was asking in terms of the open book exam, since I am doing distance learning and it's online, I have the prescribed material as a PDF document. So I'm asking if I'm I'm doing an open book exam, will I be able to, can I use that PDF as my book because it's the prescribed material and it's just not printed out?
Yes, you can use it, but like I say, if you will be typing on your laptop, it is advisable for you to print them prior so that you have them on your table. The challenge is if you will be now changing screen, moving away from your screen, it might be seen as cheating. So to be safe, put it on your table, because again, if you are using Invigilator app, you'll be requested to scan the area around your table so that the material you are using can be seen.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Colleagues, if you're writing open book exams, make sure that you organize your study materials. you need to study in advance and know exactly where to locate your, the content of what you're looking for. If you don't study in advance, you are not going to find the content or or whatever you're looking for in order to answer your questions, being an open book, right? And also use markers, use highlighters, use sticky notes to indicate where you're going to find what you need, right? So you really need to work in advance and plan yourself, organize your study material for open book. So open book is not so easy. It's normally much more difficult because it's application. So you need to study in advance so that you can access your content easily. Okay. I see another hand up.
Can I come in again?
Yes,
just
Dr. Mphahlele, please do.
Follow up on my answer because I see Thando Guhle is saying you cannot print 320 pages. I was typing here to respond to you. Thando Guhle, remember you have studied before your material. So when now you prepare for your open book, it doesn't mean that you are going to need the whole 320 pages during exam. How are you going to go through 320 pages during exam because you have limited time? So it means if you have to print, you'll print only the pages that you feel you require. And remember with open book, in the book, you just going to refer to refresh your memory. It doesn't mean now you are going to study at that time of exam. Suppose what you are writing require you to use a formula. I'm giving an example. For you to go into the textbook, for example, is to just check that formula and then you continue solving the problem that you are given. But if you are taking a 320 textbook and you want to go through the 320 pages during exam, that is a disaster. And that is application for failure. So my advice to you is study the material on time, make some pointers in the text that which ones are you gonna need. You can print out few pages that are going to jog your memory. You don't need the whole 320. Thank you.
Hello.
Next. Yes,
Greetings.
please come in.
Yes.
Good evening.
I just want to ask here. I know maybe it may be not a related question, but I just want to know what advice can you give someone or students that has been trying to contact the lecturers, but then the lecturers, they just keep quiet even through emails, no response. Like, you end up desperate in terms of assessments, and you end up failing because no response. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
That's a difficult question. What advice can we give? Look, colleagues, the best is you send emails, right? And
this is Dr. the advice. Yeah, sorry to interject. I believe if you check, I encourage you students, when you log into MyUNISA, sometimes don't rush to log into the module site. Check the information on the website, on the UNISA website. There is information that is posted for you students. In every college now, they established the support teams. These support teams are our administrators together with the support staff, the student support staff. They sit in one room, they open their laptops, they receive emails from you guys. So check that information and see who are the support group, the exam support group in your college. And then if you can't find your lecturer, definitely you'll find them. And what they have also initiated in this exam, lecturers who their modules are being written, they sit in one room with that support staff. So there is no way nowadays the lecturers will not answer emails. Last year, yes, that was happening, but this year
is a different story. Like I say, they established the team of support that they are supporting you. Even when you are unable to download the question paper, you report to that team. They make sure that you get it. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. I will do.
Good evening.
I will do that.
Evening. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
With our exams, is there gonna be a declaration at the end of each and every exam? And my second question would be that with the open book exam, is there going to be a time where I could say specifically like we should use our own words, whether in every type of exam specifically? Can someone please answer me? Please.
Bochumelo, yes, we strongly urge that you use your own words when you're answering the questions.
Okay.
If you are using the words of another scholar, then you need to cite, for example, you need to say, according to Dr. Mphahlele, you know, if you're using those words directly stated by a particular scholar or author.
Oh, okay. So there's nothing on.
Mhm.
And with the declaration, is there going to be a declaration in our exams, or
Yes.
there isn't any?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
My name is Katlego. I want to ask a question regarding referencing at the end of the exam answer sheet. You may find sometimes that the study guides we are using to answer some questions when it's an open book exam, they don't have an author. So I don't know what are we supposed to write when we're supposed to give the name of the authors of the study guides, because some of the study guides you may find that they don't have authors.
Dr.
Did you
Mphahlele?
Did you get the question?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, can I come in there?
Yes, please do.
Mostly study guides are written by your lecturers. So they put their names at the front page of the study guide. So those are the authors of the study guide. But if the lecturer did not write their names, you can still reference it with the module code, because the study guide belongs to a module, obviously. It is like when you reference a departmental policy, sometimes you don't find the author there. It's either you're going to reference it by that department, or you'll just indicate, for example, if it is South African Council of Teachers, you'll just write South African Council of Teachers. And also study guides, remember they've got year of publication. You will see when it was published. So mostly the study guides that I know, they have the names of the lecturers on. Those are the authors of it.
Oh, okay,
While I'm still there, thank you. While I'm still there, I want to come to the point of students who want to insist on not maybe printing. It is not something that we are forcing you to do. It's just an advice. It's just something we are saying to avoid unnecessary challenges with your exams. We think that is the better option. But if you feel like you want to keep them on your computer and then you navigate different sites while writing, it is up to you. But remember, chances are you can be flagged. And when you are flagged, you will take time to get your results, because they will still investigate and see if indeed you were not cheating. So this advice we are giving, it is just to say avoid things that might inconvenience you. It's not that maybe it is not allowed. Some lecturers can say, yes, put the material on your computer, and then because it's open book, go through them. If they allow that, it's fine. But if sometimes it's not allowed, remember your submission can be flagged. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mphahlele.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Doctor, good evening.
Yes.
My name is Vistorina and I'm connecting from Namibia. I came late. However, I would love to find out how do we get the Invigilator app? The second question is this app for every student? And if I get it well, I heard our next session is it Saturday at 9. This I just need correction. Thank you.
Richard, you want to take that question?
Yes, so I'll post the links now in the chat again. Please use the links. The one is the course that's available and also the webinar. So there we tell you exactly how would you know which app you will be using on the day, and also how you can prepare for an app by doing the mock exams. So please, I'm going to put the links in the chat now. Just have a look in the chats and you can visit the site. And then you please join us on Saturday morning, where we will take you step by step through all the Invigilator apps and how to set them up. Thanks, Alosh.
Thank you, Richard. Colleagues, I see a number of hands here. Let's start. Oscarine,
Doctor.
Fatima. Yes, Selena. Okay, Selena.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Oscarine.
Yes, you can go ahead, Selena.
Much. Thank you for all. I've been listening for these comments, and then last year, the previous year, I got a problem during my exam. So I'm just asking whether after the exam, is there anything that I can do maybe to lodge a complaint or a query, unlike the one that I've done last year, because it really has hurt for a person to write exam and then without any result because maybe I didn't submit in time. I've been trying after we have a technical problem during my exam before I can start, our electricity went off. And then I tried to report, but unfortunately by then I was very much keen to write my exam. And then I started writing, doing a handwritten. And then afterwards, before 12, because they were closing at 12, I did call my region, ask what should I do? And then they just sent me to another person, to the other person, until they close. So after that, I lodged a complaint, trying to tell them that maybe that the Invigilator app I've used, they can get the information that I've written the exam. But unfortunately, by then the electricity went off. Even my laptop died because I hadn't charged it enough, maybe, or maybe the battery was slow. So yeah, the exam was not good for me. And then I tried to lodge a complaint using the very same procedure that they've advised us to, but unfortunately I hadn't get any help until I registered the module. And then I just want to add something on what the doctor have said about the strategy of using the study material. I did that and everything went well. My only problem was submitting. So I just want the help. Maybe what else should we do after I've written and submitted on the app, but unfortunately on my exam, I hadn't submitted. So what should we do?
Richard, you want to come in?
Yes. So in that situation, the best is to keep the number, how can I say this, student support number that's on my UNISA. It's under the inquiries page. The option is number 4. So that's the dedicated help desk for you on the day of your exams. So it's an 0800 number, and it's option 4 that you choose to get to the assistance. Now, what happens in that situation is they've got contingency links available. So you can also, usually your academic will let you know before the exam what is the email that you can choose. use for specific assistance. But otherwise, I would recommend use the 0800 number, phone them, and they can send you a contingency link where you can upload. So you can explain what happened, and they can then let you upload on the contingency link. And from there, the lecturer can decide whether it would be, how can I say, approved for submission.
Thank you, Richard.
Hello, can I please allow me.
Dr. Mashlela, you want to come in?
Yes, it's a follow-up on this one, or where you experience problems. Sorry for stopping you. You'll come in now. I just checked because I told you this year they established the support teams. So each support team for a college, the email address starts with the abbreviation of the college, then exams@unisa.ac.za. So this email address is accessed by the team that is sitting in one call. So there's no way you won't be helped if you do that. If it's law, it's going to be law@unisa.ac.za. If it's CAMS, it's going to be CAMSexam@unisa.ac.za. But please make sure you use my live email address. Number 2, write the module code so that they assist you properly. At that day, remember, in one day, there could be many modules that are being written. So don't just send an email and say, I'm experiencing a problem. Make sure you specify the module code and you use my live email address. Then they will be able to assist you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mashlela. I think it was... yes, please come in.
Can I come in? Yeah, I've raised my hand. And,
is it Victoria? Yes, Victoria, you can come in.
Yeah, but my apologies. My apologies for just rushing in like that. The lady that just raised the question now earlier on, unfortunately, I experienced the same problem in May-June exams, whereby I experienced the same electricity problem, and I had about 5 minutes left for finishing my exam, and I was writing my answer script, and I'd scan it on the Invigilator app, but unfortunately, because of the network issues that I experienced, the time lapsed whilst I was still trying to get sorted. Now, when I found the toll-free number that is there, those people were not helpful. I was transferred from one pillar to post. I ended up calling the lecturer. The lecturer was not there. And unfortunately, I ended up not being able to submit my script. And I didn't know what to do, because even when I called the lecturer, I think the lecturer, I only managed to get hold of the lecturer at about 7:20 in the evening. And the question paper was from, I think, 3:30 to 5:30. You know, so that really frustrated me, because even when I went to the Sunnyside campus, there was no help there until such time that I complained and asked to speak to a senior person who asked me to go to a police station and make an affidavit so that they can allocate me a sum. And I'm writing that subject now. So I want to know as to if you happen to experience that kind of a network problem at that point in time, whereby you are just about to submit your script and the time is just about to run out, the numbers, which are the contact numbers that we can call? Because the toll-free number, I'm afraid, the toll-free number, it just rings and you will never get straight help there. Thank you.
Thank you. So this year, make use of the email, because I know the team is always on standby. They are ready as early as 8 o'clock. And when the exam is not finished, they don't leave the room. So maybe don't call, just write that email.
Colleagues, the email links are shared in the chat for the different colleges. Okay.
Hello, Dr. Governor.
Yes, please go ahead.
My name is Olisile. I'm doing LLB. My question precisely is with regards to the open book. I must say I'm still not yet clear in terms of what is expected from a student in answering a question, Dr. Mphahlele. For an example, I wrote my first open book last semester. It was for constitutional law. And there was a question that said, I've got it open here, discuss the role, the function and powers of the local sphere of government. So I've got a book, I've got, a portion that speaks about local government. The information is there. Is it precisely about me paraphrasing what is there? Because remember, with certain information, I can't make up my own story on what local government does or what their functions are. At the end of the day, it goes back to the prescribed information in the book. So on the book, there was, let's say, 7 list of the functions. So the actual skill that a student must have, is it trying to paraphrase? I just need clarity with that. What do we need to do? I've got another module now that I'll be writing. There's a study guide. So there's no textbook. There's a UNISA study guide that was prescribed. So obviously the information is solely from that study guide. But in answering, what is it that is expected of me? Thank you.
Thank you. That is a very good question.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go first, Dr.
Yes.
Gavenda? You can.
Colleagues, for an open book exams, we expect the questions to be an application type of question, where you would refer to your prescribed materials for the relevant legislations and so forth. So for an open book, you would expect to have an application type of questions. We don't expect you to regurgitate what's in the book, but you refer to your study material to come up with a response or an answer. You do not use the words what's in the study material. You paraphrase, yes, but basically you are actually using the study material as a point of reference. But then again, it depends on the type of question that is set and how the question is set. Dr. Mphahlele, you want to come in?
Yeah, yes, thank you. I want to advise students regarding paraphrasing. Remember, sometimes when you just say paraphrasing, it sounds easy, but it also needs a skill. I think maybe next year here in our sessions, we need to have a session where we show students how to paraphrase, because most of our students, when they say they paraphrase, they take the same information, they just change few words, and it will still be the same information with some few words changed. Let me give an example. You will find that somewhere you see the word client, you just replace it with a customer, and for you is paraphrasing. That is not paraphrasing, because I'm afraid to say to you, yes, you should paraphrase, but I know majority of our students, they don't have a skill to paraphrase. So in actual fact, what is in the book, you are correct when you say there are certain things you cannot make them up. You are going to refer to that act or that policy, but what they want from you is to see if you can apply it in real life situation, or in a case where now you are faced with a specific case. So the examples you are going to be giving are the ones that will show the lecturer that you are able to apply this. For example, if they are principles, they say to you, discuss principles of whatever law. Those principles might be there in your textbook and they might be described. Then it means for you now, you know, this principle means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you come back, you reflect on it, you give it your own understanding without
trying to paraphrase what is in the textbook. Try to check if you understand it. Can you know how I advise other students to make sure that they understand something? I'm saying to them, explain it as if you are explaining to your grandmother or your grandfather. Remember, some of our grandfathers and grandmothers are not educated. They are people who, when you explain something, you need to shift and go to a certain level. If someone I know will say, I don't have grandparents, I'm just giving that as an example to say, think of explaining that to someone who is illiterate. So you make it simple in your own words. I'm sure you won't go wrong with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mphahlele. Any other comments, colleagues? Please remember this session is about assessment skills. If you have any concerns about technical skills, proctoring tools, please attend Saturday's class session. Anyone else? Komotso. Komotso. Priscilla. Please unmute, Priscilla. Okay.
Hello, it's Tanda.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, okay, cool. Please don't take me wrong. I just wanted to understand. Okay, cool. I've got this app, the Invigilator app on my phone. I just want like proper clarity on how it works. I've got the Invigilator app. I saw that it required me to take some pictures of some documents and devices that are next to me whatsoever, but I'm going to be using my laptop as the main provision for me to actually write my exam. So my understanding that I'm trying to establish so that I can be in peace and safe, so that I can stop panicking, I'm trying to understand. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like hectically panicking because I've never written an exam which was everything online. Yes, I'm using my phone, but I'm having an issue. My line of phone, cell phone number is linked to work stuff. Yes, I have booked out for tomorrow. Would that affect me? If a phone call comes in, then I reject it, because of by doing so, I'll be like moving away from the actual app.
Yeah, Doctor, I can't answer that. So
yes.
What I would suggest is if you're going to be doing it tomorrow already, please go and do the mock exams on the course site that we've listed. It will give you a good understanding exactly how it's going to work. What I recommend is, remember, the app only needs connection at the start when you scan the QR code, and then at the end when you upload the photos that you now took. In your case, it will be of your laptop screen where you wrote out. You're just going to take pictures of everything that you've written, start the upload process at the end. During that time, put it on flight mode so that you don't get into any interruptions, so you don't need to navigate away from the app. Usually if you go to the app, you get a call. For that instance, the app is still the main app running, so it won't necessarily impact you. But the best advice is rather than go and put it on silent mode during the time that you are writing.
Thank you for that answer of flight mode, because I was a bit having an issue thinking if I put it on flight mode, it's going to disconnect the app. So thank you for answering that, because that was actually one of the things that I was thinking of doing, but I was not certain if it was going to disconnect the app or would the app still continue. So moving forward, I'll just put it on flight mode. Thank you very much.
Okay, great.
Hello.
Hello. Please go
Hello,
ahead.
Hello,
Yes.
Dr. Davender.
Yes.
I wanted to know, how does one tackle a 3-day take-home portfolio? Because I haven't heard us talk about portfolios.
Okay. Sorry, your question is?
How does one tackle a 3-day take-home portfolio?
Okay. So colleagues, some of your exams, like a portfolio, right?
Yes.
It might take multiple days to complete. This does not mean that you must work on all 3 days, day and night, sit continuously throughout the 3 days. What it means is that you have 3 days to complete the portfolio. So a portfolio is an assessment that requires evidence. So it's a portfolio of evidence, right, where you provide evidence of whatever, according to your questions. So what it means is that once you answer the questions, then you can submit anytime during that 3-day period. Does it make sense?
Okay, I'm very happy. Thank you.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean that you have to wait for the last hour to submit your portfolio. Within the 3 days, the moment you have completed your portfolio, you have included all your evidence, and you have met the criteria for the portfolio, then you can submit once completed. Okay, so this is what we call an exam that takes place over multiple days.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. Yes, you
again, I wanted to ask regarding closed book examinations. Are we expected to reference closed book assessment examinations?
Dr. Mpashilela?
Students, I'm going to say this again. The issue of referencing, if the lecturer did not mention it in the instructions of the exam, please don't worry about it. It is like you get your question paper. Isn't it you are going to answer the questions that are asked?
Yeah.
So if there is nothing about referencing, why do you want to reference? Because it will be like now you are answering the question that is not asked. There will be lecturers who are saying to you reference, and they will do that mostly if it's an open book. But if the lecturer said nothing about referencing, also don't worry about it. Just answer the questions you are given and submit your script.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mpasela. It's
Hello?
Thando again. Hello.
Yes, Themba.
Yes. I just wanted to ask one more question. So I'll be using my laptop, typing everything. My Invigilator app is gonna be active on my cell phone device, with that webcam, everything. So what I'm trying to establish, after I'm done on my device, my laptop, answering my questions, am I required also to take pictures onto the Invigilator app, or is there a link that I can take the work that I've done on my laptop, save it as a PDF, and link it directly to the Invigilator app, whereby it's gonna link to my profile for the exam? I'm sorry for I'm really sorry for the stupid questions, but I just want to get proper clarity in all angles. I'm sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah. Remember, Invigilator app is like that Invigilator in a physical exam. Isn't it? In physical exam, there will be someone who is working just around you guys. And that person sometimes will come to your table and check your timetable and check your ID if indeed it's you. So Invigilator app is just that. So there is nothing for you to link or submit to the Invigilator app. If you think of Invigilator app as a person invigilating you, it's just that now this person is not a real person. It is an app that is invigilating you. So when you are typing, what you'll do is when it requests you to screenshot your script, you'll just screenshot it on your computer screen. Also, when you are required to scan your script at the end, you'll just scroll all your pages one by one, scanning with your phone. So when you are done, you now save your Word document which you were typing and you upload to the My Exams. So if you think of it like that, to say it's like a person who is with you at that time. So you don't need to have something and send to this person. Isn't it the invigilator in the room? If he or she is physical, you cannot take your work now and go to prove to her that I was writing without cheating. He was there watching you, coming to your table sometimes, checking if it's you. So that is why Invigilator app will prompt you to screenshot your face at some stage or take a picture of your ID. That is the same way as the physical person Invigilator will do. And another thing, I saw this long message where someone is saying when he was taking the pictures, it kept on saying next, next. I believe maybe because you are in a hurry, you just want to scan quickly. Remember, sometimes when you scan, take your time and make sure that you scan properly, because otherwise your pictures, if are not accepted, you will not be able to move forward. So you need to make sure that the picture is well scanned, and then it will allow you to proceed. So you need to, that is why it's important to take the mock exam. It will assist you in alleviating your panics and also your lack of knowledge about it. You'll know what you are expecting next. Thank you.
Hello.
Good evening.
It's Amian here.
Yeah.
Delisila. Okay. Delisila, you can go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me? Am I
Yes, we can
audible
hear
enough?
you. Yes.
Okay, so it's also my first time writing an online exam. As Tando was saying, mine, when I read the instructions through the timetable, it said I will be downloading the PDF. So my question is, I'll go on my exam, let's say around to, let's say 15 minutes to 8, and then I will download the PDF. So will there be an answer sheet also that I must download, or I'm just gonna open a clear blank page on the Word and write my thing as I was writing the exam? Just like Dr. Mphatlele said, I'm just gonna write a question 1, and then the answer, just like I was doing with the assessment. Is that how it's gonna work? And then after that, I'm gonna convert the Word to PDF and download it to my exam.
Dr. Mphatlele.
Thank you so much.
Sheila, you're muted.
Richard.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. Sorry. I was saying there is no answer sheet. You only download the question paper. And then if you are typing, you're going to open your Word document and then you start writing. If you are writing by hand, you need to have your own maybe notebook where you'll be getting pages from, and then you write. So there is no answer sheet that you are going to download.
Thank you, Dr.
If you are
so basically,
Colleagues,
sorry, Sandra.
I see there's a lot of questions coming up that's related to the proctoring tools and so forth. I suggest that you reserve these questions for the next webinar. That's tomorrow. Richard, is it tomorrow or on
Saturday morning?
On Saturday morning.
I'm sorry for asking. It's just that we are writing exams tomorrow.
Okay.
That is why we like posing these questions, because we want clarity before we enter the exam room tomorrow.
Okay.
That is the reason.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Please go ahead.
Talosh, can I quickly perhaps
Richard?
give them this the whole scenario for how the Invigilator app works? So with the Invigilator app, so you should have downloaded the Invigilator app already. It should be on your phone. You should have done the mock exam already. You should know exactly the steps that needs to be taken. The links are in the chat. Please go and do those mock exams as soon as possible. But what happens on the day? So 15 minutes before the exam starts. So let's say your exam starts at 10 o'clock. So 15 minutes before the exam starts, you can actually go and scan the QR code already so that you are ready with the Invigilator app once at 10 o'clock when you're going to download the question paper. So at 10 o'clock, you download the question paper. Remember, if you're going to have that page open, to refresh at 10 o'clock, else it won't show that it's actually open. Download the question paper. The app will run next to you. It will ping you for your ID document. It will ping you for a selfie, all of those things during the time at random times. If you need to go to the bathroom or anything like that, you just say in the audio, I'm quickly going to the bathroom. It's not a big problem if you miss one of the prompts that comes through, but if you start missing more than one, that's usually when they look a bit deeper into how much time were you actually away from the app or didn't respond to the app. Now, there's two scenarios at the end. So say you're writing from 10 to 12. So say you finish at, say, 11:30. You finish a bit early. The app is still running. You can leave it. What you do then, if you've typed it out, that's when you now go and you save it as a PDF. You go back to My Exams, you log in, you submit your answers. So that's what you do if you finished earlier. After you submit it on My Exams, you go back onto the app and you say you're done. If there's any prompts outstanding, it will ask you, and then it's going to ask you to take pictures of your script. So if you wrote it out by hand, you take pictures of each page. If you wrote it on your laptop, you have to scroll through the Word document just to make sure you've got all the text that's on there. And then you start the upload process with the app. So that means you've already now submitted on My Exams. You've now taken the pictures, you started the upload in the app, and it will finish, and then you're done, submitted. But there's another scenario. Say the exam is until 12, and now you get to 12 o'clock. And now basically your time is up. You must just submit. What you do then, you first submit on the app, the Invigilator app. So you will say, it will tell you your time is up. You need to take pictures of your answer sheet. So you go and you take the pictures, say on your Word document, you scroll through all the pages, you take pictures of all the text. Now, why I say you must do that first is because you only got 8 minutes on the app to do that. And that's to take the pictures and to select submit. If you get an error on the app, don't worry about it. You've got 48 hours after you click submit. The app can, if you lost connection or anything like that, it will upload in the background all the documentation. Then you've got, after that 8 minutes, 22 minutes still to submit on My Exams. So remember, from 12 to 12:30, you've got that half an hour, but that 8 minutes is also part of that half an hour. So that means if you took 8 minutes, you've still got 22 minutes. That's when you then save your document as a PDF, and you go to My Exams and you submit on there. So just for your earlier questions, you can't link, say, send it to your phone and upload what you saved as a PDF. You need to take photos with the app, the camera in the app of each page, and do it like that. So it's a very easy process, actually. So please go and do those mock exams tonight so that you know you're at ease, exactly how it works. But that is the scenario how to work. Now, just
Richard.
Yes.
Sorry, on the when you say we can put the cell phones on a flight mode.
Yes.
During the exams, when it lose connection to prompt you maybe to take pictures.
No, so remember, everything is saved on the phone. So from the time that you scan the QR code and the app starts, it doesn't communicate online at all until the time is up and you start the upload process, and then it wants to connect to the internet again. During that period, you can put it on silent mode. As long as it's, you just start the app, let it run, it will go fade dead. It doesn't matter. It will still prompt you. Just another note. So I told you 15 minutes before 10, you can actually scan the QR code again. They only allow you half an hour after the session start to also scan the QR code. So say by 10:30, after 10:30, you try and scan the QR code to get in. It's going to tell you you're late. You can't start it. It's the same that basically that you were late for the exam. So you can't continue with your assessment from that point. So just make sure you do it at least half an hour after the exams actually start to activate that app as soon as possible.
Thank you, thank you. One more silly question.
Good evening. Good evening.
Let's just quickly ask, let Tandu finish.
Thank you. One more silly question. Is there a specific position that the device is required, the phone that has the Invigilator app position that it's required to sit to invigilate you on when you're doing your exam, or it just needs to be on and that's it? Whenever it prompts, you just need to take a picture, or is there a certain position whereby it will auto record at some point? Or I just want to understand, because of if that's the case, then I will have to organize a phone stand for it be a human standing behind me.
No, you just pop it flat next to you. It doesn't take video during the session. It only records audio. I saw there was a few questions in the chat as well. Oh, I'm going to get flagged. I might get flagged of this. It doesn't matter if you get flagged. You won't even know if you get flagged. As somebody still, if you get flagged, it will be for a short little audio piece. And they're actually the lecturers and the exams department goes through certain stages, and they actually listen to that audio to determine if you discussed any content related to the questionnaire. So if your dogs were barking, or the kid comes in yelling, or somebody comes in, do you want coffee accidentally? All of that is fine. Somebody still go listen to audio to see, oh, did they discuss question 5 or anything like that?
So it can be flat down on the table. It doesn't need to be a stand-up point to reflect your actual position. The only thing that we're required to do is to, while writing, pay attention to the pop-up request, whether to take a photo of your screen, or a photo of yourself, or a photo of your surrounding.
Yeah, it won't be, you will get a pop-up on the screen, but it will make a sound as well. So rather just listen for the sound than looking the whole time waiting for a pop-up.
Super duper. Thank you very much. I just wanted to understand those fundamental points for it to because of when I'm fully concentrating, calculating, and it pops out on silent, I'm not going to be able to notice it.
Yeah. No. So you should be now have everything good to go.
Super. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good evening.
Sorry, colleagues. We'll take the last question now.
Dr. Governor.
Yes.
Good evening.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Let's one person at a time. Fully fellow.
Yes, it's Fulufelo. I have a question regards referencing. I'm just confused. So when we're writing a closed book examination, do we reference, do we quote? Because I believe there is no way I can be able to know the author's names and all. So what do we do after that?
Colleagues, I'm going to come in now. It seems you are asking the same questions you asked in the chat and we responded. Please read in the chat. This question of referencing, we responded to it many times. We said, if your lecturer did not say to you reference, don't reference. Case closed.
Okay. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
can I come in? I just want to ask one question, Doctor. Can I come in?
Yes.
Yes. Can I come in? I want to ask one question.
Yes, you may.
Yes, Doc. My question is based on the MCQ question papers. I've picked up on most question papers where I wrote previously on the MCQ questions, where you'll find that on those questions the answers are totally wrong, and then you've got an option to red flag that question. Is it really necessary to red flag that question? You can just skip it, because I don't know if it does do justice on our side. I've really come where you know exactly what there's no correct answer in these questions now. Is it necessary? Because most of the time, I think if I red flag it, I don't think it does justice, or I might just ignore that question, go to the next question.
Do you mean there was an error to the question?
Yes.
There was an error to the question. Colleagues, when, sometimes it does happen. So if there's an error to the question, it is brought to the attention of the lecturer, and when they're marking, that particular question is excluded from from the assessment mark, basically. So in other words, if your MCQ is out of 50 marks, and if 4 questions had errors in it, then the assessment will be graded out of 46 and not out of 50.
So it is wise if we still, it does make sense. But I'm saying, so I should red flag.
Sorry,
in other words, I should take as good. There's something wrong with the questions.
You mean for the exams?
Yes, it's in the exams, because remember now there's a block there where you do red flag that question. So if I do find a question like that, so it's wise for me just to red flag there's wrong. There's no correct answer in that.
Yes,
okay, no,
and then you could just send an email to the lecturer after that to indicate that there was an error to that particular question, because it could be a case where it was an oversight on the part of the lecturer.
Okay, no, sorry.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kavenda.
Yes, okay, I think this is the last question. And colleagues, if you have any further questions related to proctoring and so forth, please can you direct it on Saturday? Okay. Yes, I think this is the last question.
It's not my first time to use the Invigilator app. Last time I did not encounter any problem, but when I used it today and yesterday, I also sent the message to the Invigilator team, and they said they will look into it. I also sent the message to the lecturer, because my screen was going on and off. I don't know what was happening. It was I think maybe it was a technical issue. I don't know. So now this evening I received a message which says my marks will be withheld. I don't know what it means. But the lecturer, when I spoke to her, she said whether I failed or I experienced technical problem, I will be automatically able to write. I will be given a second chance to write. I don't apply for anything. It will happen automatically. So now I don't know with this message which I received this evening, what is going to happen.
Colleagues, anyone with
Yes,
Richard?
I can just let you know. So remember, it is going to go through a review process. So the message that you got was most likely your automated message. So as you mentioned, the team that you WhatsApp, the Invigilator ad team, they will now go through the logs to see what was the problem. If it was a technical problem, then they will inform the university, and they might release your marks on that one. In terms of automatically being, how can I say, get access to the supplementary exams? Yes, you will. So all undergraduate qualifications currently, they can't apply for any, what do they call it, to do the next supplementary. It's automatic. So it's only for postgraduates that still need to apply, provide evidence so that they can get a supplementary. But all undergraduates, if there's any technical problems, your exam marks are withheld or anything like that, you will automatically get access to supplementary. But just know the supplementary will then be very important, because that will be your last one. Else you will have to re-register the module.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Can I just quickly add to that? I'm afraid when now students will just take an advantage that something will be automatic.
colleagues, remember, they will investigate, because like now you got a message to say your results will be held. It will be withheld so that they investigate if whether indeed you had a challenge or it was something deliberate for you to get second chance. Because there could be students who will see the question paper, and when they see it's difficult, now they will just cry fault to say they had some technical challenges to be moved into writing the acroted. So there's always investigation to check if it wasn't something that you just wanted to avoid to write. So be careful of that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mphahlele. Colleagues, thank you very much for attending. If you have any more queries about basic skills in my exams, please attend the webinar on Saturday. We want to wish you all the best for your studies and your exams, and good night.
Thank you everyone for
Bye-bye.
joining. We'll see you on Saturday. You have a good evening. Good luck to all us that's writing tomorrow. Please go and do the Invigilator app mock exam so that you know you don't have to worry about the technical aspects. Rather focus on how you're going to answer that question paper and ace it. But thanks everyone. All the best with the exams. We will still see you in the other sessions if you need any help. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.